Ladies and gentlemen, if any of you have ever been in doubt about the 3 stars and legends we've got on stage today, here is a little reminder just to remind you of some of their achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the stage Peter Gade and Taufik Hidayat. Okay, gentlemen, it's an absolute privilege to have you here today. Peter, I'd like to start with you because I think back to the 1999 All England Championships and try and describe for us just what it meant to your career to win the All England title that year.
Wow, yeah, I was just watching the pictures, playing this young fellow. We looked like 2 teenagers at that time, yeah, and we actually came close to being that. It was an amazing peak for me because what I've been working on for my whole life was to get a page in these history books, and especially here at All England. I've been watching so many of my fellow Danish compatriots like Morten Frost, Paul Erik Høj Larsen play this tournament. So for me it was a huge honor and I was very proud to take place in this history.
You mentioned that you beat Taufik in that final. Of course, Taufik, you were just 17 years of age when you reached the All England final. You reached the All England final again a year after losing to Peter Gade, and sadly, of course, you lost in that final as well. For all your achievements, world champion, Olympic champion, so many titles, you know, I don't expect any of you 3 probably ever look back on your career with regret, but I'm just wondering whether it sort of niggles a little bit that for all the achievements, this is the one that just got away.
Yeah, it's until now, I think I never get the All England. I'm just missing the 1 title in All England. Yeah, first All England is 99, final with the Peter Gade. And then I have chance in 2000, but I lose to Saswanse from China. I don't know when I have to play again in All England. I try later. I play double with Peter Gade. So later to get the title in All England. We'll see.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Okay.
It's interesting, Lindan, if I can turn to you next, because Peter was mentioning that he had watched some of the great Danish players. I'm sure Taufik Hidayat watched great Indonesian players like Rudi Hartono and the likes. And there's a real tradition, of course, of success of both Danish and Indonesian players. And what I'm interested to know, Lindan, is do Chinese players, do you and the Chinese players understand the history and the tradition and therefore hold this tournament in the same esteem as obviously your two friends on stage?
首先我觉得全英是100年了，所以我自己也参加了，加上今年应该是第12次全英，曾经在过去获得了5次的冠军，所以我觉得。参加全英和参加所有的一系列的一些比赛是完全不同的，所以我觉得也希望这样一个有特色的一个古老的一个100年的比赛能够一直延续办得很好，因为每当全英的时候，我都能感受到有很多全世界最优秀的运动员都会来参加，所以我觉得这就是比赛最吸引他们的地方。还有就是那个不知道这边的。国际联会不会给陶飞一张外卡，可以让他实现一下能不能拿冠军的一个梦想？对，但是我还没有做好跟他比赛的准备。
Peter, turning back to you. Obviously, there's been a change of calendar by the BWF this year, and of course, this is the first Super Series event of 2015. And of course, when I look back over the Super Series and the start of the Super Series in 2007, I'm just wondering whether you had any idea at the time of winning that Malaysian Open that the Super Series would grow into this huge global success that we see today.
I think that at that time in badminton we needed to take the Grand Prix tournaments into a further step, and that was what the BWF was trying to do with the Super Series, and I think that has been a really good thing. Maybe it hasn't evolved as quickly as they wanted to, prize money-wise and all this, and hopefully we can build on this in the future, because we need to put layer on layer in order to promote the sport the best way possible. But there's no doubt that the Super Series has been a way of doing that, and a really good thing for our game.
Taufik, I know you won your very first international title at 16 years 11 months. You won the Brunei Open, beating Dong Jiong, who 2 years earlier had been in the Olympic final. Do you have any theories on why it seems to take longer for players to achieve that higher status, world #1 status nowadays?
Yeah, after Peter Gade, me and I know Lindan still playing, Lee Chong-wei still playing. After the poor people retired, I think all the players now are looking like the same standard. Now if Lindan still playing and Lee Chong-wei is still playing, it's only Lindan and Lee Chong-wei, right? So for the great player, you have to wait 5 more years. I think so. Yeah, I'm looking now, it's like a standard, not so many years, not stable. Sometimes it's going up, sometimes going down. Not like Lindan, Peter Gade, or Lee Chong-wei, and so on.
So is it a consistency thing?
Yeah, it's not consistent.
Okay. I look at some of the players today, and the flair that I saw with you 3 players is not always prevalent today. And again, is there a reason for that? Is there anything behind that, or is it just once again that you 3 were outstanding?
问我吗？我觉得那可一定是陶飞跟盖德打的时间太长了，给很多年轻运动员造成了很大的麻烦。我是这么理解的。
Okay, well, Peter, I'll turn that question sort of to you, because I heard, certainly when you were competing, that you were a great believer that it wasn't just about the winning. Of course, you wanted to win, but you believed very strongly that you wanted to win in the right way, playing the style of game that you thought you wanted to play, you enjoyed playing, and there was fun for the audience to watch. Is that true?
It is true, in the beginning of my career, at least. No, I think I had I don't know if you can call it a romantic view of how I wanted to do things. One of my idols was always the Danish football player, Michael Laudrup. And he always had a creative way of doing things, and I wanted to try and do that also in badminton. I wanted to be the guy that could take up the fight against these guys away from home in Asia. So that was my biggest goal. And doing it the way that I wanted to, I wanted to make that possible. But of course, at the later part of my career, it didn't matter how I won. You had to find different ways of winning because a lot of things changed in the way in your playing style and the way you could physically manage to do things. So that's how I see it. Regarding some of your other questions, I think the combination of finding a true star, a true, a player with true star potential is a combination of many things. It's a complex thing. And at the moment, the true star potential is obvious with the players still playing, like Lin Dan, Lee Chung-wei, at some point Chen Long. But we need to see some of the young players coming forward and showing that they have the full package. They are capable of doing it in both on court, off court, in many areas. And hopefully we will see that inside the next couple of years.
Picking up on your point, if I turn to Taufik, of course, Indonesia has had a tradition of wonderful success in badminton. And I know that you yourself have built an academy, the Taufik Hidayat Arena, and you've set up an academy. If you do coaching, do you work on developing the flair that you showed in the younger players, or do you focus on developing them to be the winner? Or is it a combination of the two?
Yeah, it's now I have the Taufik Hidayat Arena, but still have to take time, like a young player, like 11, 12, or 13. So I'm not coaching, so it's not easy to become coach. It's difficult to handle young player, because the emotion or something like that. But I believe in next future, I hope I can come in the good player from my arena. Also in next Taufik from Indonesia, I'm looking is so many junior player in Indonesia in national team, like he was 16, 17. That's why I told you, like coming in 5 years again.
Lin Dan, my experience is that most players, while still competing, tend to be a little tunnel visioned of concentrating on their personal performance. But I find it fascinating that you are already looking at the bigger picture. And as one of the all-time greats, do you feel some sort of responsibility to the sport beyond your on-court performance?
我觉得在8年前，其实我跟所有的球员一样，只希望能够获得冠军。特别是12年的伦敦奥运会蝉联完以后，我觉得其实我更大的心愿是能够继续的留在赛场上，享受比赛，同时呢，让更多的一些羽毛球爱好者能够越来越喜欢这项运动。因为对于我来讲，我觉得这项运动确实很值得大家去喜欢。所以我也希望不仅仅是停留在还能拿多少冠军，而是更多的希望能够让全世界更多的一些青少年能够喜欢这项运动，从这项运动里面能够锻炼到自己的体魄，能够得到一些更好的一些反应的一些智慧，因为羽毛球是需要很强的智慧才能打好的。同时呢，我觉得也能够得到更好的一些身心的健康。
Picking up on that then, Peter, and also picking up on something you said earlier about the Super Series, it has been a phenomenal success, but we need to take it perhaps to an even higher level. What do you think can be done? What should we be looking to do to take that next higher step, to making it equal to other individual sports like tennis and golf as global phenomenons?
Oh, that's not an easy question to answer, but one of the ways of looking at it is you compare us to tennis and golf. Still, we have a situation that badminton doesn't have its own professional players organization like the PGA or like the ATP. We have a different setup, we have a different system, kind of an old-fashioned system. I know that the BWF and all the associations around the world and the players are doing the best they can, but we just have to accept that we have to put the bar as high as we can, and we have to work together to bring the sport up at a higher level. And it will take a huge effort for everyone. And we cannot afford to work against each other in some areas. We have to work together. If we do that, I still think that this sport that we all love has a huge potential, and we can bring it to the next level, like tennis or like golf.
Yes, I'm sure that's everybody's desire. It is inevitably the question of how we achieve that. Taufik, have you any ideas on how you would like to see these major tournaments, the Super Series tournaments, progress to get even more publicity?
Yeah, I hope BWF and all the players more the promo, because now badminton only popular in Asia, like in China, in Malaysia, Indonesia. In Europe, I think in Denmark, in England, some European, like somebody don't know what is badminton.
Yeah.
They play badminton just for fun. Also in the US, not like tennis. In US, people play tennis, watching tennis, play golf or something. But in next future, I hope BWF and all the players become the more promo to somewhere. I mean, in the US, in Africa, in somewhere to become they become like tennis, you know? Because now, somebody talk to only in Asia, in Europe, only in Denmark, in England.
Yeah. Lindan, anything that you would like to add about how we can develop our sport more, adding to what either Peter or Taufik said?
其实我特别希望在这项运动里面，其实运动员的部分应该是最重要的。所以我希望，其实当然是我个人的建议，我很希望就是让这些专业的运动员的门槛能够拉得更低一些，就是他们可以以自己的名义去报名参赛，同时呢，也让每一次的超级赛的那个品质变得更高。所以我觉得这样的话，可能会有更多的一些优秀运动员会延长他们的职业生涯。其实我觉得延长他们职业生涯对这项运动也是有很大的帮助。
Peter.
Yeah, well, I totally agree. One thing that to get back to, you talked about the high-profile stars. What is a star? Yeah. And right now we may have a transition period. We still have the huge stars like Lindan and Chong Wei in the game. Hopefully we will see the new stars emerge inside the next 1 or 2 years, and you have some of the older ones who are still still want to contribute to the game. And like Lindan was saying before, you have the biggest star of our sport. He actually wants to contribute to the sport for the future. I don't see that many sports where you have the biggest stars, being that active in these areas. So why not take use of that in the best way possible? I really hope that the sport can take advantage of that.
I couldn't agree more. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll all agree that having a personal insight to some of the views of 3 of the sport's biggest ever stars has been insightful. It's been a privilege, and I think the more that we can do this and really get to know the star athletes rather than just their on-court appearances, the more we will help to grow the sport. So we all have a part to play in that. I think at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, I'll perhaps open it up to members of the media if anybody would like to ask any questions of the 3 gentlemen here.
我觉得本身这项运动就是非常的伟大，因为在我很小的时候其实并不了解羽毛球，但是正是因为有一项这么好玩的一项运动，同时也出现了这么多每一个时代有这么多优秀的运动员，在最早前的比如说杨洋、赵建华， 还有孙俊东友，比如 Peter、Taufik，他们都比我都是我的年长的这些对手，也是我的前辈。我也是因为看到他们，才觉得坚定了自己继续打羽毛球的一种愿望。所以我觉得这非常的神奇。我也希望在不久的以后，有很多的更年轻的运动员会看到我们不同的他们喜欢的这些老前辈的身上，能够喜欢上这项运动，从而能够继续的热爱这项运动。
Well, I have been speaking to these two guys and also Chong Wei at many occasions since I stopped playing 2 years ago, and I think all three of them have shown a huge desire and compassion for wanting to do this. Now, you know, being under the same roof makes it a whole lot easier to do a lot of different things with Yonex. So. There's a huge amount of possibilities, but we still got two of the guys playing, so there will be some challenges in that matter. I will, as I've been doing for the past 2 years, do whatever I can in different areas. But I totally agree with you that we need to promote this game also in other parts of the world. And that is also my view and my feeling that the other three guys want to do that. So we need to find ways to do it.
首先我觉得过去对羽毛球来讲是我想实现自己的一个努力的一个价值，就比如成为世界冠军。现在拿了很多冠军以后，我觉得其实是我发现我很愿意再继续回到很辛苦的训练场上，或者很残酷的比赛场上，是因为我觉得确实非常热爱这项运动。哦不，我觉得参加奥运会其实是我自己的一个要求对手只会告诉我要做什么，但是我觉得能够代表自己的国家第4次参加奥运会，其实这不是所有运动员有这样的一个机会和能力的，所以我觉得能够代表中国继续征战我的第4届奥运会，这对我来讲是无比的荣耀。
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we ought to wrap it up there. I would like to thank you all for being here. I especially want to thank our 3 guests. Having this opportunity to talk to you and to get such an insight into you personally and your visions for the future has been a real privilege. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed to our 3 legends.